2 minutes ago,
Officials who served with
something
Mr.
happened
Patel
that will
warned
be
us
talked
he would
about for
weaponize the
decades.
FBI
A video
to
was
protect the
played in a
president's allies
congressional
and
hearing
target
room
his critics.
that nobody,
And indeed,
absolutely nobody,
Director
was
Patel has
supposed to
already
see.
inflicted
47
untold
minutes of
damage on
footage from the FBI's own
putting our
internal
national
security
security
system
and
showing
public
Cash
safety at
Patel,
risk.
in his own voice, ordering
Since
the
January
burial of the
20th, the Trump
Epstein files
administration has
forever.
engaged in
Watch
an
this until
unprecedented
the end,
purge of
because the
FBI
moment that
officials.
screen lit up,
As we
and
heard
Patel
from
saw
highly
himself,
credible
his own
whistleblowers, Mr.
face,
Patel was
his own
involved in
voice,
directing
saying
this purge
things that should have stayed
even
buried
before
forever.
he was
Everything
confirmed.
changed. His
Despite
expression,
sworn
that
testimony
confident
to this
mask
committee.
he's worn for months,
It
shattered
began
in
with
real time
terminations
on
and
live
forced
television.
retirements of
If you're new
all
here,
6
subscribe
nonpartisan
right now
career
because this
officials
story is
who run
moving
all
faster
6
than anything
branches
we've
of the
ever covered,
FBI,
and you
the
don't want to miss
executive
what's
assistant
coming
directors.
next. This isn't just
Since
about
then,
one
at least
video.
18
This is
of the
about the
53
complete
special
exposure
agents
of
in
a
charge of
systematic
FBI
cover-up
field
that goes
offices
straight to the
have
White
been
House.
removed,
Let me take
along
you
with
back
many
to
other
this
senior
morning.
officials.
6:14 a.m. Eastern
Individual
Time.
agents have been
An
targeted
anonymous
for
email
termination
lands in the inbox
simply
of
due
3
to the work
Washington
that they
Post
were
reporters.
assigned, such as
Subject line,
January 6th
the truth
investigation.
about Patel.
In
No
fact,
message,
according to
just an
former
attachment.
acting FBI
A video
Director Brian
file, 47
Driscoll,
minutes
in a
and
lawsuit
23
filed
seconds
last week,
long. The
Director
metadata
Patel
pointed
made this
directly
very
to the
plain,
FBI's
telling
internal
Driscoll
surveillance
personally,
system,
quote,
Building
that his own job
935,
depended on the
7th floor
removal of
conference room,
agents who worked on the
February
cases
14,
against the president, end quote.
2025.
And
The
even though
Post
he knew,
spent
quote,
4 hours
the
verifying every
nature
single
of summary
frame.
findings were
Voice
likely
analysis
illegal.
specialists compared the audio to
At
dozens
the
of
same time,
Patel's
Director
speeches
Patel
and
has installed
testimonies.
MAGA
Result:
loyalists as political appointees in key career
99.7%
positions,
match. They
including
examined every
conspiracy
detail of the
theorist Dan
background, the
Bongino
oval table,
as
the
FBI
chair
deputy
arrangement,
director,
even the coffee
the
cups and
first
water
time
bottles.
in the history
Everything
of the
matched
FBI
FBI
that this
headquarters,
position has not been held
7th
by a
floor
career
executive
FBI
conference
agent.
room, where only
Director
the
Patel
highest
has
level
also
meetings
reportedly
happen. But
initiated
nobody
loyalty
expected
tests.
the content,
Loyalty tests,
the words that came out of
requiring
Patel's
dozens of
mouth,
officials
words
to
he
sit
never
for
imagined the
polygraph
American
exams
public would
and
hear.
answer
The
inappropriate
House
questions
Intelligence
about whether
Committee
they
called
made
an emergency
negative
session at 2
comments
p.m.
about him
Patel got
personally.
the call at 1:47
Of course,
p.m.
as is often the case in the
Emergency
Trump
session,
administration,
mandatory
the rules
attendance.
apply to thee,
No
but
details
not
provided.
to me.
His staff
As we
didn't know what
understand
it
it
was
from
about.
highly
His
credible
lawyers
sources,
didn't know.
key
Nobody
members of
knew
Director
except the
Patel's
committee
senior
chairman
executive
and 3
team and
senior
others on
members
the
who had
7th
watched the
floor
video an hour
at
earlier.
disqualifying
Patel entered the
alerts
hearing
on their
room at
initial
2:11
polygraph
p.m.
exams.
I've
Well, how did they
analyzed every
survive?
micro
They
expression,
survived
every
because of
gesture.
personal waiver by
He
either
walked
the
in with
director
that confident
or the Attorney
stride,
General
shoulders
to remain
back,
employed by
chin
the
up,
Bureau.
the walk of a man who thought he'd
Understand the
survived
context
worse
here.
rooms than
For
this.
example,
He nodded
after
to committee
Attorney
members.
General Bondi
His
publicly
lawyer was
stated
checking
in
her
February
phone,
that the
completely
Epstein
relaxed.
client list
They had
was,
no
quote,
idea what was
sitting
coming.
on my desk
Committee
right
Chairman
now
Michael
to
Guest
review.
opened the session.
That's what
Director
she said on
Patel,
Fox.
thank you for joining us on
Director
short
Patel
notice.
diverted more than
We've called this
1,000
emergency
FBI
session because
personnel
materials
from
came
critical
into our
missions
possession this
to
morning
work on
that require
24-hour
immediate
shifts,
clarification.
reviewing over
Patel's
100,000
eyebrow raised
pages
slightly,
of
the
Epstein
first sign of
records.
uncertainty. Due to
These
the sensitive
personnel
nature
were
of these
instructed to
materials,
flag
we were
any
unable to
records in
provide
which
advance
President
notice.
Trump was named.
Director Patel,
But
we're
that
going to
review
play a
ended
video
in
for you
an
now,
unsigned
and then we're going to
memorandum
have some questions.
from DOJ and
The
FBI
lights
stating
dimmed.
simply,
2
there
massive
is no
screens
incriminating
flickered to life.
client list,
And
close
that's
quote.
when everything
Director
changed.
Patel
The
still
image
has not
was
responded
slightly
to my letter
grainy,
from 2 months
security
ago,
camera quality,
asking about
but
his
crystal
role in this
clear.
cover-up.
A conference room, long
On the
oval
day
table,
of the horrific
6
shooting
people
of
sitting
Charlie
around
Kirk
it,
at Utah
and at the
Valley
head of that
University,
table, in a
Director
dark suit
Patel
and
again
white shirt,
sparked mass
was Cash
confusion
Patel. I
by
watched his
incorrectly
face
claiming
the
on
moment he
social media that
recognized
the
himself
shooter
on that
was in
screen.
custody,
The color
which he then
drained
had to
so
walk
fast,
back with another
it looked
social
like
media
someone had
post.
pulled a plug.
Mr. Patel
His
was
hand
so
gripped the
anxious
table edge,
to take
knuckles
credit for
white.
finding Mr.
His
Kirk's
lawyer
assassin
leaned forward,
that he
whispering
violated one of
urgently.
the basics of
But
effective law
Patel couldn't
enforcement.
respond.
At
He was
critical
staring at
stages
that
of an
screen like a man watching
shut
his
up
own
and let the
execution.
professionals
The
do their
date
job.
stamp read February
Notably,
14,
Director Patel recently
2025.
forced out Special Agent
Exactly
in charge of Salt
18
Lake
days
City,
after
Mayim
Patel had been
Saeed,
sworn in
a
as FBI
counterterrorism
director.
expert with
The audio
20
kicked
years
in
of
and filled
experience,
both rooms
who
with
would have led
Patel's
this
voice.
high-profile
All right,
investigation.
let's get to the point.
The men and
We
women
need
who
to
serve
be
at the
absolutely
FBI
clear
and the
about
American
the
people
Epstein files. files.
deserve a
These
director who
files
has the
cannot under
ability
any
and the
circumstances be released to the
to
public.
restore the Bureau
In the
to its
hearing room,
place
you
as
could
the
have heard a
preeminent
pin
law
drop.
enforcement agency.
Every person
I
there
want to
stopped
close on a
breathing.
personal note.
If these files are
I came
open,
of age in
if
the
they become public,
1960s.
a lot of
We
very
experienced a
powerful
number
people
of
are
horrific
going to have very serious
assassinations,
problems.
including
And some of
President
those
John
people,
Kennedy,
whether we like it
Senator
or
Robert
not,
Kennedy,
are people we
and Dr.
need,
Martin Luther
people
King.
this administration needs,
We are going
people
through
this
a
country
similar
needs
period
in
of
positions
division
of
and
power.
political violence.
Someone asked a question
All
about
of us in public
reclassification.
life, on both sides
Patel
of the
cut him
aisle,
off.
have a
We're talking about
responsibility to bring
permanent
down the
burial.
temperature
There
and to
are
work to
clear
unite the
instructions
American
from the
people.
White House on this.
Let's be clear.
The President himself
Republicans
has
are
made
not
it clear.
Nazis,
These
and
files
Democrats
need to
are not
disappear
evil,
into the
as Mr.
deepest
Patel
vault
has
we
claimed.
have and stay there
Democrats
for
are
the
not
next
responsible
50
for
years
the murder
minimum.
of Charlie
This
Kirk,
wasn't
and Republicans
speculation
are
or
not
hearsay.
responsible for the
This
murder
was
of Melissa
Patel,
Hardman.
in his own
Our
voice,
political
describing a
opponents are
direct
not our
presidential order
enemies.
to bury
We are
evidence.
all Americans,
The FBI
and we should
director,
be working
the man
together to
charged
keep the
with
American
upholding
people
the law,
safe
talking
and
about
protect their
hiding evidence
constitutional
on
rights.
White House orders.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Another voice asked
Would you
about
please,
witness
stand
statements.
so
We
I
have
can
127 documented testimonies, some from victims who were minors at the time. Patel nodded calmly. Those are the most critical pieces to secure. Those statements have names, dates, locations, specific incidents. If those ever reach Congress, if they ever reach the press,
Thank you.
we're looking
Morning,
at a
Mr. Chairman,
cascade effect
Ranking
that
Member
will
Durbin,
take down
members of
people
the
across
committee.
government,
It's an honor to be here with
across
you today as the
business,
Ninth Director
across
of the
media.
FBI.
He paused,
I want to
took a
provide
sip
by
of
providing
water.
a briefing into
Here's
the
what we do.
tragic
We move them
assassination
to
of
Special
Charlie Kirk.
Access Program
It's important that this
classification.
FBI is
We stamp them
transparent
with
as possible
national
without
security
jeopardizing
relevance.
investigations.
Tie them to ongoing
Charlie
counterintelligence
Kirk was shot at
operations.
12:23
Make it
a.m.
so classified
PM
that
on
even congressional
September 10th.
oversight
I
committees
think this
can't touch
timeline is
them
critically
without
important.
triggering a presidential
Less than a day
privilege
later,
fund.
the FBI
What
at
if
my
someone
direction
pushes
released the
back?
first set of images
What
of
if
the suspect
Congress
that we
subpoenas?
captured based on
Patel
our
smiled
analysis
on
on the
camera.
ground.
You could see him
Later
actually
that evening,
smile. Then
while
we do what
conducting
we always
extensive
do.
interviews and cell
We
phone
delay.
analysis and
We
also
redact.
flying
We
out
claim
evidence response
ongoing
teams and hostage
investigations.
rescue teams
We've
and
been
evidence
playing this
tacticians
game for
who were
decades.
collecting evidence
Congress
in
doesn't
live
have
time
the
and flying them
resources
back
or
to
attention
Washington,
span
D.C. in
to
our
fight a
laboratories for
sustained
immediate
battle with the
analyses.
Bureau. They'll
We were
rage
able
for a few
to
weeks, hold some
extract
hearings,
video
then
from the
move on
campus
to the next
feed.
crisis.
And at my
They
direction
always
at 8
do.
p.m.
Back in the hearing
partnership
room,
and promise
committee
to working
members'
with the public
faces
to bring this
ranged from
fugitive to justice.
stone-faced anger to
We
genuine
released
shock.
a newly,
One Democratic
never
member from
never before
California
seen video
had tears
of
in
the
her
suspect.
eyes. And
We
Patel
also
looked like
released
he
new
wanted the
enhanced
floor to swallow
photos
him whole.
of the
The
suspect.
video continued with
A few hours
discussions about
later,
digital
that
forensics
suspect
and
was in
IP
custody.
trails. Patel
Pursuant
was
to the
methodical,
interrogation of the
treating the
suspect's own
burial of
father, who
evidence
stated,
like a normal
"When I
operational
saw that
procedure.
video that you
He
released,
discussed scrubbing
I
servers,
recognized it was
auditing
my son,
access logs,
and I confronted
reassigning
him,
agents
and he was
who
handed
had
over to
accessed
lawful
the
law
files
enforcement
inappropriately.
authorities. That is
Some
the
are being
FBI working
retired
with the
early.
public as I
Some are
promised,
being
being
handled through
transparent
other channels.
and provided critical
Other
information
channels,
along the
the
way
voice
in the
asked,
manhunt for the
need
suspect
to know
and
basis.
suspects
What
involved
matters
in Charlie's
is the files
assassination.
stay contained.
We received
At one
over
point,
11,000
he
tips
actually
in
joked,
the first
"We're
24 hours
basically
alone.
building a prison
We
for
received
documents,
16,000
and
submissions
these
for digital
documents are
media
serving a
enterprise and
life
tip lines.
sentence without parole."
That is a
The
large
people in the
number
room laughed.
of material
Genuine
to go
amusement,
through.
like they
I
were
want to thank
discussing
President Trump
something
and the Attorney
routine,
General, Pam
not the
Bondi, for their
systematic
unwavering
cover-up
support
of
and
evidence
commitment
related
resources
to one of the
this
most
and all
notorious criminal
investigations. I
cases
also
in
want to
modern
especially
American
thank our
history.
colleagues in Utah,
The video ran for
Governor's
another
Office,
20
DPS,
minutes.
and the sheriffs
Every
out there.
minute more
State
damning.
and local law
Patel
enforcement
discussed
partnership has been a
contingency plans
cornerstone
for
since I
handling
took over at
journalist
the FBI,
questions,
and it was no
FOIA
different here.
requests,
And our
strategies
teams
for
in Salt Lake
discrediting
City,
potential
our
leakers.
SACs out
He
there,
even
across the
discussed
country,
planting
our
false
lab technicians
information
in
to muddy the
Quantico,
waters
who raced to
if
complete
real
the evidence
information
analysis
emerged.
so the public could
Near
have
the
the
end,
answers they
a
need.
female
These
voice
people
asked,
worked through the
"Director,
night without
what
sleep
about the
for days
victims?
on end.
Some
They are
of
to be
them are
commended.
still
They are
alive.
not to be attacked.
Some of them want
And
justice."
many
Patel
more people
looked
I don't have
directly
time
at the
to thank
camera
here today.
like he was looking
But I
through
do want to
time
thank
at
the
everyone
American
watching.
people especially.
Justice is a
The
complicated
mission of the
concept.
FBI
Sometimes the
is
greater
for
good
them
requires
and with
difficult
them
choices.
and by, with, and through them.
Sometimes
And it's
protecting the
that
stability of
mission and that
American
ethos that I brought
institutions
to this
means
investigation
certain
and so many
cases
others,
can't
and
be
that's why that
pursued,
suspect is in
no matter
custody.
how
We
sympathetic
cannot
the
do our
victims.
job without the American
The video
public
ended.
and credible
The
reporting in the
screens
media,
went black.
and that's why Tyler
The lights
Robinson is in
came
custody
back up
today,
for maybe
about to face
15
charges.
seconds. Absolute suffocating
The last
silence.
time I appeared before
Chairman
this committee was in
Guest
January
leaned
for my
into his
confirmation
microphone,
hearing.
voice
I told you
controlled
then
but
that if I were
angry underneath.
confirmed, I would
Director
provide
Patel,
and do everything I can
you
to
just
provide a
watched
safe and
yourself
secure
discussing the
America.
systematic burial
I
of
promise
evidence
to provide
related
the
to
courageous
Jeffrey
men and women
Epstein.
of the FBI the
You
tools and
discussed
resources they
presidential
need to
orders
crush
to
violent
hide
crime
documents.
and defend
You
the
laughed
homeland.
about
I pledge
manipulating
myself to
Congress.
commit to full
You
transparency,
dismissed the
oversight,
pursuit of
accountability,
justice for
so we
victims.
could restore the
He
public's
paused,
trust in the
letting
FBI.
every word land.
That's exactly what I've
I'm going to ask you
Under
a
this
direct
administration,
question,
the FBI has
and I
arrested more
remind
than
you that you are
23,000
under oath. Is
violent
that you in the
criminals.
video?
That's more
Patel's
than
lips
twice
moved.
for the same time
No
period
sound
from last
came
year
out.
alone.
He tried again.
23,000, more than
Voice
twice
barely
for the
a
same
whisper.
time period last
I
year.
need to consult with my
We've
attorneys.
taken over
His lawyer
6,000
stood
illegal
up,
firearms
hands
off the
shaking.
streets.
Mr.
That number
Chairman,
is an exponential
my client
increase.
requests a
We've
brief
identified
recess
and
to
located
review the
more than
material.
4,700
Request denied.
child victims.
This is
More
an
than
emergency
4,700
session.
child victims have
Your
been
client
found by
can
this
consult
FBI.
with you right there.
That is a 35%
But we're not stopping this
increase
hearing.
from the same
Representative
time period
Adriana
last
Sanchez
year.
took the microphone next.
1,500 child
Director
predators
Patel, In
have
the
been
video,
arrested.
you mentioned
That's a 5%
127
increase from
witness
the same time
statements.
last year.
3 months ago,
300
when
human
this committee
traffickers
asked about
have been
Epstein-related
arrested.
evidence,
That's
you
a
testified
10%
under oath
increase from the
that the
same time
FBI had
last
no
year.
such statements in its
Over
possession.
350
Were you
members
lying
of
to
Trende
Congress?
Aragua,
Silence.
foreign terrorist
Patel's
organization,
voice,
have
when
been
it finally
arrested,
came,
and we have
was
42
completely
ongoing
different
cases.
from the confident
That is
tone
a
on the video.
250%
Representative
increase
Sanchez,
from the same time last
I would need
year.
to review my
Those
previous
are just some of the
testimony to
things
ensure
the FBI
accuracy.
is doing differently
Before what?
and better, because
Before
we are
you
leading the
admit
mission
you
to crush
committed
violent
perjury.
crime and defend the
Director,
homeland.
we have the
We have
transcript
also
right here.
arrested
October 15th, page
captured
43.
four top
I asked
10
you
fugitives
directly,
from the
does
FBI's
the FBI
top 10
possess
most
witness
wanted list?
statements related to
put that in
Jeffrey
perspective,
Epstein's activities?
That's the same
Your
amount
answer,
I've captured
and I
in
quote,
7 months.
to the
than my
best of my
predecessor did
knowledge,
during the
no
entirety of the
such
Biden
documents exist in FBI
Those
custody.
are real results.
Were
and
you
accredited
lying
to the men
then,
and women at the
or
FBI.
are you lying now?
We've been
The
able to
trap
achieve
was
these results
perfect.
because the
Either
FBI
he
recognizes
admitted the
violent
video
crime
was real,
doesn't just
and he
happen in
committed
Washington,
perjury
D.C.
in October,
That's why
or
one of
he
my
claimed
first
the video
decisions
was
as a
fake
director was to
and
get the
faced
people,
different problems.
the Bureau's
Patel sat
professional
there trapped,
staff out
unable
to
to
the
move
field.
in any
And
direction
we've done
without
that with great
destroying
speed.
himself.
And every
Representative
single one of
Thomas
your
Kellerman
districts
from
and states
Texas,
has received
a
a plus-up of
Republican who had
FBI
been one
personnel,
of
agents, and
Patel's
special
strongest
operators
defenders,
to
took
the
his
tune
turn.
of almost
His
1,000.
voice was quiet.
We
sad
did that because
almost.
crime had
Director
unexpectedly
Patel, I want you to know
unacceptably
something.
exploded.
I defended you when
across the
Democrats
country.
called you unqualified.
In
I
fact,
defended you when they
one of
said
the
you couldn't be
stats
trusted.
that the
I
American
stood
people
up
should
for
thank
you
the
in this
FBI the
committee,
most for
on television,
is
to
we are
my
on track to have the
constituents.
lowest murder
I
rate
can't do that anymore.
in modern
After watching
American
that
history.
video, hearing you laugh about
lowest murder rate
manipulating
by
Congress,
double-digit
hearing you
percentage.
dismiss victims, hearing you take orders
A
from the
major
White
factor
House
in
to
the drop
bury
of this violent
evidence,
crime is
I
the
can't
FBI's
defend
flagship
you. I
Operation
won't
Summer
defend
Heat.
you. Chairman Guest laid
We
out
used
what happens
this
next.
initiative
Director Patel,
at the direction
this
of the
committee
President
is
and the
voting
Attorney
this
General,
afternoon
surging
on whether to
resources
hold
toward
you in
major and
contempt
mid-major
of
cities
Congress
across
for
America,
perjury. We're
conducting
also referring this matter
intelligence-based
to the Department of
operations
Justice
to
for
target
criminal
the worst of the
investigation.
worst, to
The
target
evidence
the gangs, to
suggests
target the
multiple
transnational
federal crimes,
organizations, to target the
including
TCOs,
obstruction of justice,
and to target the drug
conspiracy,
trafficking cartels.
perjury before Congress,
And we have
and
taken them
potentially
out city by
violations of
city.
the Presidential
There's a lot of
Records
work left
Act.
to be done,
He
but we're
looked
off to a
directly
great
at
start.
Patel. I'm also calling
Just
for
ask
your
the citizens
immediate
of Seattle,
resignation.
Miami, Memphis,
You are
Charlotte,
unfit
Chicago,
to lead
and so
the
many more
FBI.
places.
1 hour after that hearing, the Washington Post published the full video online. Within 20 minutes, 10 million views. Within an hour, 50 million. By evening, it was trending globally. Legal experts appeared on television with unanimous consensus, multiple federal crimes, clear evidence, no wiggle room. Within the FBI itself, sources started leaking. Agents who had been silenced, reassigned, or forced into early retirement for asking questions about the Epstein files. Stories emerged about Patel's first weeks in office, ordering files moved, access restricted, investigations shut down. The White House went into crisis mode, but the damage was done. Patel had said on video, there were clear instructions from the White House. Someone gave those instructions. By evening, 3 Democratic senators and 1 Republican senator had called for Patel's immediate arrest, not just resignation. The ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee announced plans to subpoena everyone in that February meeting. The anonymous source who sent the video included a message with just 3 words. This is one, meaning there are others. Meaning this destruction of Cash Patel's career is part of something larger. 2 minutes ago, a video was played in Congress. 2 minutes ago, Cash Patel's career ended. 2 minutes ago, a cover-up that had been carefully constructed over months began to collapse, and we're watching it happen in real time. The truth always comes out. Today it came out on 2 massive screens in a congressional hearing room, and Cash Patel sat there powerless, watching himself confess to crimes he thought would never be discovered.